Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another episode of 4th and 62, where we talk all great Boston sports. With me today, my name is John Friedman. With me today are the usual suspects. From his palatial estate somewhere in Connecticut, his cousin Steven.
Hey guys, how are you?
And Steven, just Bob's head is all that could make it into the studio today.
I'm a true talking head today.
You know, because after Jason Tatum went down, Bob's body is like we can't find it. So all we found was Bob's head.
I'm in sympathy with JT.
You know, the problem with just being a head is all you get for Christmas are hats.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah, as long as it has an O on it, which he has right here. There we go. Now it looks like Woody Hayes' head.
Right.
So anyway, we'll follow the lineup here. And the first thing is Red Sox and Pete Rose.
Oh, please, God, no. Can you get rid of this guy? Can we talk enough about him? Thank you.
Well, Sean McAdam went on for 10 minutes about Pete Rose, but I think we're all set with Pete Rose.
Yep.
Agreed.
I said to Bob earlier, well, to Bob's head, sorry, that Rob Manfred needed his legacy. And I think he got his legacy by pardoning all these dead guys.
Yeah. I mean,
which Pete Rose is one of them.
Rose is bad enough. I mean, there's all sorts of argument for and against him.
Yeah, I know.
But shoeless Joe Jackson?
No,
give me a break.
What did he throw, Bob said?
He threw the World Series.
Threw the World Series.
I mean, come on. It's bad enough. It's bad enough to gamble on your team, although he didn't ever bet on them to lose. Like that did anything different. But gee,
I mean,
come on.
in this day and age, I think if you throw the World Series, you actually get a plaque in the Hall of Fame for that.
That's true. And anyone who's any of our ages knows Jules Joe Jackson from Ray Liotta. You don't know. No one here, no one I know, saw Shoeless Joe Jackson play. You've read about him in the paper. You read what his stats, which were unbelievable.
Yeah.
He was a great ball player.
Right.
But apparently he was dumb as a box of rocks. He was illiterate. You know, there were all kinds of stories about him. You know, good for Rob Manfred. He wasn't going to have a legacy in any other way because he's like milk toast. So whatever. So let's move on if we can. Do you mind moving away from Pete Rose, Steven?
I'd be happy, more than happy.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's go.
So I had on my notes, John Henry shows up to try to talk Rafael Devers into playing first base. Well, that didn't work.
No. I mean, John Henry's really exciting. He must have gone in there and really dazzled with some jokes, some one-liners. You know, and trying
do you think he offered him another $31 million?
Maybe. That might have done.
No, I think he asked for some of it back.
Yeah, take a cut.
Yeah.
You know, Rafi to first base, that's not going to happen. Ken Rosenthal in The Athletic wrote a great article about this, and he just said, leave Devers to DH, leave him alone. They've asked enough of him.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, take Devers out of the equation. When you play a true team sport,
you do the right thing.
Do what you got to do because you talk the talk. I want to win the World Series. I'll do anything I can for the team to win. Okay? I mean, there's been a lot of stone gloves that play first base and get away with it that can hit. Now, he can hit sometimes. It's a little streaky this year.
Yeah,
okay. But, I mean, a ground ball's a ground ball. And it certainly don't come down to first base like they do most of the time to third.
Right.
So, but I don't know.
I agree with you 100%. Steven?
Totally agree.
Yeah. See, I think.
just-
Go ahead.
He wants to claim he doesn't know how to do it. Well, you know what? Practice a little bit.
Right.
And, you can learn the technique. It's really not that difficult. Yeah, maybe there are some nuances that would take him a while, but he would be a good alternative. Stick him at first base, and then you have a lot more versatility on the team.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, he's being selfish. I was excited when Big Papi David Ortiz came to visit him, but that didn't work either.
No.
All that worked was to get him to DH.
Right.
I don't think Papi's going to come back and say you should play first. So John Henry shows up, which I think is friggin' hysterical
Yeah.
because he must have just put Devers to sleep.
Yeah.
So I wrote here, no consistency in the batting order. The batting order, except for Bregman, who obviously it was the right guy at the right time.
Yeah. You see,
I said starters doing pretty good, but Bob's head had a problem with that.
Tanner Houck, he's a real mystery. The kid can pitch for the first time through the batting order most of the time. There's been some games when they tattoo him early. However, he gets in the second and third, God forbid, the third round. It's like batting practice.
He's awful.
The poor kid, I don't know what happens to him. He can't locate the ball. He can't throw it over the plate. I don't know what happens to
Or
him.
he throws it over the dead center of the plate.
Center cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you can get him out the first time, then you got to make him a middle reliever and let him pitch 3 innings and move on.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And I thought Hunter Dobbins was the answer, but he kind of got shelled by the Tigers the other night. So who knows?
Now the thing of it is, they're in these games.
Yeah.
They've lost what? The last 7 or 8 losses are in 1-run games in the bottom of the ninth
Yep.
or in extras.
Yep.
It's awful.
That's why I wrote one about the bullpen.
Yeah.
On the Sox for 7 minutes, just so you know.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Oz. We better move on. Oz is telling us to move.
Okay. All right, you ready? Steven, you ready for some Bruins talk?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. We're done.
That's it.
Next.
Actually, I decided that we should learn a lesson from Kevin DuPont and Sean McAdams and Karen Garigian, and then so I decided I would call Brad Marchand and try to get a quote from him.
Did you?
Did you get one?
I did.
Oh, good.
And he said he watches the show.
Does he? Nice.
Can you believe that? Yeah. So I said,
like
so
it.
what do you think? He said, Bob is funnier than I am, and John is smarter than both of us. And then he hung up.
Very nice. I'm glad to hear that.
I don't believe any of that. That's a bunch of crap.
No, it's totally true.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll give you his number. You can call him.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I'll rush right to that. Okay. Anything else we want to talk about the Bruins? I'm going to throw out. I watched last night that 0-0 game, Edmonton and Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And I'm watching the third period, and these guys are going up and down, and they're smacking each other. And I'm saying to myself, there's no way the Bruins of last year could have kept up with this team. And then, like on cue, Trent Frederick, who couldn't even get a regular gig on the Bruins, nailed somebody.
Yeah.
He's taking a regular shift with Edmonton. He looks terrific. And I'm saying to myself, a la Bob Lobel, why can't we get players like that?
Right. But now they've changed how many coaches?
Oh, I know.
And the coach doesn't necessarily get the players. You've said this before.
Yep.
It's got to be in the front office.
Yep.
Then somebody's not in sync.
It's Don Sweeney and Cam Neely.
Maybe we'll get Kevin Paul back and he can talk
Well,
about
I'll
it.
tell you what, in one of my notes here, Kev, who must not have anything to do, or her sock drawers are totally arranged, wants to be on. He sent me a note. So we'll get him on later this month or sometime in June. He'll do a postmortem on the Bruins. Steven, anything else on the Bruins?
I'm going to wait for Kevin.
Okay.
Hey, we've gone over our 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next thing is the Celtics and JT. JT is Jason Tatum. Bob's head. What are your thoughts on that?
Bob's head is very, very concerned. One of the things on John's notes was, can the Celtics beat the Knicks? I know he meant that for like last night's game, but I think now the series is in jeopardy. I mean, they rose to the occasion, and interestingly enough, they're 10-2 without Tatum.
Yeah, I know.
So maybe, we'll see the guys rise to the occasion, but they got to find a way to throttle Brunson and throw a net over Robinson. That guy is a monster. I mean, he just beats people up.
To me, it's Brunson and then Bridges.
Yep.
That's who's been killing the Celtics. And then sprinkle in a little Karl Anthony Towns.
Now that Robinson controls the boards.
Yes, I know.
Oh, he's like a tackle at the Bruins and the Patriots, Nate.
That's a good thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But one thing that bothers me is that the team that's more physical than the other gets away with it.
Oh yeah.
Because otherwise, the referees would be fouling out the whole team, and they won't do that.
Right.
So that bothers me. And the Knicks are very physical, almost to the point of being dirty, I think.
Well, there's two physical teams in a row. Orlando, they were no shrinking violets.
That's true.
That was,
That
was brutal. That was brutal.
John, you don't think so?
No, I agree.
I mean, that's
I agree, Stephen. Stephen and I traded a couple of texts last night during the game. Stephen, do me a favor. Share your thoughts on Jalen Brunson.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Is this for public TV? Is this clean?
yes, yeah.
He'll keep it clean.
Yeah, that he's one of those athletes that gets an Academy Award for faking an injury or faking a foul.
Foul.
Like he gets touched, his head snaps back like 3 feet, and then he bends over in pain if somebody looks at his stomach.
Yeah,
and it's just annoying. I think he should get fouled out of the game for that, for bad acting.
he should be playing soccer over in Europe.
Right.
And I said to Stephen, I texted back, he's still really good.
Oh yeah, he's good. He can light it up, boy.
He doesn't
He's
miss.
tough.
He doesn't miss.
I don't think we'd throw him off the team if he came to the Celtics.
No. Do you remember when he was on the Mavericks?
No.
He was on the Mavericks before the Knicks. He was a free agent and went to New York.
Oh, speaking of the Mavericks, I know that
That's okay.
overtime Oz is going to be yelling at us. However, big controversy. They get the number one pick.
1.8% chance.
And they got it. Now
And
now they're all, and it's rigged. It's rigged because they wanted to get
Cooper Flag.
Cooper Flag in town to make up for them getting rid
Trading
of.
Doncic. Yep.
I mean, come on. That would be a miracle. There you go. Okay, we're moving on.
Okay.
All right.
So,
All right.
So for the last 10 minutes or so, why don't we talk about our love, which is obviously the Patriots. Stephen, that schedule came out yesterday. I'm sure you've studied it with the fine-tooth comb.
Totally. I've already checked Southwest flights to New Orleans. Absolutely.
Is that what the Super Bowl is this year?
That I don't know.
Super Bowl's in Vegas. No, Vegas? I'll look it up.
That's all right.
But the Patriots play in New Orleans. That's why I was checking.
Okay.
That's on week 6. They played in New Orleans. 4:25 game.
Were you excited when you saw the schedule?
I couldn't. Man, I've been waiting like a month for yesterday to find out what the schedule was. It is so exciting. I don't know how the NFL does it, but that may be the most exciting day of the year, the schedule day.
Isn't that crazy?
Something tells me he's pulling our leg.
I think so.
Just a little, yeah.
I hope not.
Hey, the big thing will be who the Steelers quarterback's going to be when they come to Foxborough, week 3.
I hope it's Joe Milton.
No, he's on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
Anybody but
your boy from the Ohio State.
that's right, Will Howard. Now, interesting enough, he was a 6th-round pick. Ooh, now you see a little something.
No. No, there's only one GOAT.
Hey, who knew Brady was going to be the GOAT?
Well, none of us.
None of us. Will Howard come the Ohio State. I'm just telling you.
No, not going to happen.
Okay.
Not going to happen.
Okay, fine.
So my notes for the Patriot stuff, it's all new in Foxborough, and Vrabel cleans house. It's unbelievable that Mike Vrabel got rid of every single player that has played in the last couple of years for the Patriots.
But
What do you think of that, Mr. Season Ticket Holder?
Well, it's obviously he's planned this out, and I'm not sure I understand why you want to get rid of Andrews, who's a pretty good ball player, or what's his name, the long snapper who was
Yeah,
Joe
yeah.
Cardone.
more than
Yeah.
adequate.
Right.
Yep.
So obviously it's a thought in his head that he just wants to not have anything from the Belichick era.
I know. Andrews, I think, was a team player. From all accounts, he was good with the kids. He worked with the guy that was the center after he couldn't play last year.
Yep.
I think he's a team player. I think he would have helped.
You know what's interesting about that? Unless I'm wrong, which happens all the time, he hasn't been picked up by anybody, has he?
No.
No.
I mean, he had a pretty serious injury.
Maybe Vrabel knows something. we
Yeah,
don't.
that's true. And he's not going to badmouth the kid.
No, of course not. Why would he?
Right. Now, it is another interesting fact. Not only did he clean house with the players, but there's 26 reported staff members associated with the team.
That are gone.
No, 11 new ones out of the 26
Oh,
are new. But not only are they new, but they worked with him in Tennessee.
okay.
So he's bringing back his Tennessee folks.
I wonder if the defensive coordinator, his last name is Williams,
Yeah.
who's sick. I guess he's still in Detroit.
Oh,
I wonder if he's going to be able to be back. Have you heard anything, Stephen?
No, I didn't call him.
Okay. Glad to hear that. So one of the things I put here, Josh Dobbs, who's a new backup quarterback for the Patriots, was holding a press conference. And I looked real quick and I thought, holy crap, that's the kid on the Celtics, Jordan Walsh.
yeah, there is a resemblance.
They look exactly alike. And then my last note here, Coach Bob, and today it's just Coach Bob's head,
Yeah.
is still concerned about the offensive line.
However, this kid Campbell,
He's the real deal.
he's the real deal.
Yeah.
I've got an article here that Vrabel went down to LSU and worked him out. Not only did he work him out, Vrabel put, the pads that
Pads
the
on.
coaches wear,
Yeah.
the chest and the forearms, and he said, Campbell says, what? He says, come at me. Here's a run block. Do a run block. Pass block inside, outside. Moved him around. See if he could move his alligator arms. He put Vrabel on his back a couple times.
Well,
So and Vrabel's old. Obviously, he's lost a step, but
okay, that's.
but he's still, once the juices got going, because he didn't want to hit his coach.
Yeah.
Once the juices got going, he's okay. You want it? Here we go. Boom.
I read that, and that made me smile.
Yeah.
But I also thought Mike Vrabel doesn't have the speed of a outside pass rusher or even a defensive tackle.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Get
Right, and
granted.
the guy across the line from Campbell not going to be a 40-something-year-old coach.
Yeah, exactly.
But don't forget, Vrabel's a wily old pro,
Oh no,
and he doesn't want to be embarrassed. He's got some dirty tricks up his sleeve.
I
So, yeah. But still,
speaking of that,
yeah.
did you read where he called out Milton Williams? He called him out in front of the team. So did you hear about this?
Something about that. I did, yeah.
Milton Williams was running some type of drill, and he slowed up at the end because he knew he was going to finish in time. And Vrabel called him out on it. He said, "Don't you ever slow down?
Right.
What are you slowing down for?" And I'm like, whoa.
New sheriff in
That
town.
never would have happened ever. Belichick never would have talked about it. But Mayo said, Mayo would have said, "Would you like a chair and a sandwich?"
I think Belichick would have embarrassed a kid in the meeting. He would have got up to him, got in his face, man, quietly on the.
Yeah, but we never would have heard about
Never
it.
would have heard of. No,
Right.
no, absolutely not.
I thought this was great. And I know we only have one season ticket holder, which is the guy in the palatial estate in Connecticut. But I can't wait to see what this team is like.
I think we got a good shot of maybe not double-digit wins, but we got a shot at a respectable, hard-playing team that if they lose, the other team was just that much better.
Yep, I totally agree. And you know what? I think at this point, that's what we want to see.
Right.
We want to see a team that plays hard from, for the entire 60 minutes, that, that does whatever it has to do and is deep.
Yeah.
Because last year it wasn't deep and it just seemed like they gave up. Except, thank you, Oz.
For those of you at home that couldn't hear that, that was Oz giving us the 3-minute warning.
So, okay. So, are we actually going to have time to talk about sports gambling?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
I mean, it needs more attention than this.
Yeah, I just want to say something about Tatum's injury in that, the vulnerability of our heroes, they go down in a second. And all of a sudden, it breaks your heart to see these guys. And, you worry about how it's going to affect your team and so on. So I immediately thought of, I don't want to curse it, but Drake May. If Drake May gets injured, any quarterback actually, you know what happens. It's your season is practically done.
Right.
So
right.
appreciate him while you got him, guys.
Right.
And
I mean, love
injuries.
him. Yeah, love him or hate him with Tatum. Sometimes it can be exasperating. You figure he's not hustling or whatever. But the kid didn't deserve to go down like this.
The guy
Nobody
that's
does.
exasperating
Right.
to me is Jaylen Brown.
Oh.
He had a great game last night, but, he had subpar games up to this point.
Yeah, well, that's true, but
He
still.
dribbles too much. He's not a dribbler. He shouldn't be dribbling. He makes bad passes. He turns the ball over. He didn't last night. Last night he
Well,
was,
I think
he was
he's-
unbelievable.
I think he's got a different mindset. I think the whole team has a different mindset now.
I agree.
They don't have JT to bail him out with some miraculous 3 from the logo. They got to step up.
Yep.
All the kids have to step up. Pritchard came. He couldn't put the ball in the ocean for the first part of the game, but after the fourth quarter, he stepped it up.
Yep.
Usual scrappy hustle trying to steal the ball.
And Luke Cornett was
Ooh,
unbelievable.
wow. Steven, how about that kid?
Yeah. It'll be painful if the Celtics lose, but it'll be great if they beat those Knicks.
Yeah.
Yes, it will.
That's all.
Love
Yes,
it.
it will.
So, on behalf of Cousin Steven, Coach Bob's head, and this is John Friedman.
Bye.
We'll see you next time on 4th and 62.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care. I'll see if I can find the rest of my body.